The truth about forced reunification. No one's explaining this, you guys. I want you to imagine something with me. Picture a judge saying that a child has to spend time with a parent even if that child feels really scared or uncomfortable around them. Yes, this is horrible, you guys. This happens every day. For some adults, that sounds like healing a broken family. To others, it feels like forcing a child into a scary situation. That's what people call forced reunification. But there's a lot more happening beneath the surface, especially in a child's mind and a child's heart. So let's go deeper, you guys, because this topic is way more complicated than it seems. Okay? It's way more complicated. All right? So when we talk about forced reunification, most people miss a huge piece of the puzzle. The way a child's brain and body reacts in stressful situations. Neuroscience shows us that when a child is caught between two parents who are fighting, their brain is doing everything it can do to survive, actually, emotionally. But what does that actually look like? And why do some kids completely turn away from a parent, even if that parent loves them? Okay, even if that parent genuinely loves them. Okay, so let's get into it. Usually when a kid doesn't want to see one parent during a divorce, adults guess at one thing going wrong. They say, oh, other parent must be turning them against me, or that parent must have done something bad. It's like flipping a coin, you guys. Blame one side or blame the other. But that's not giving the child enough credit. Human psychology explains this, especially in kids. Runs much deeper than what most people can imagine, okay? So divorce rips up the world of a child, okay? Thoughts that they could trust, people that they could trust, the people who were supposed to keep them safe. That's what they thought. Safe. Now argue, tell different stories, and sometimes even use the child to get back at each other. Suddenly, every day feels unpredictable. Okay, so here's what's happening inside a child's brain in these situations. Kids are not sponges. Their brains and nervous systems are constantly soaking up cues, okay? Cues about who is safe and who is not. Okay, that's how the sponge works. The brain is searching for safety, learning patterns, figuring out who do I trust. If a parent is always tense, angry, or scared, the child's brain starts connecting those feelings to that parent. Yeah, even if nobody is actually in danger in these situations. That's how emotional memories form and why those feelings can seem so real to the child. All right, they're not just being dramatic. Their brain is shaping their reality. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, all right, so what does that mean for reunification therapy? And why is everyone arguing about it? Okay, if you want to really understand, you have to get into what's happening in the child's brain. That's the only way you're going to understand it. How trauma, fear, loyalty, and stress all battle each other when families split up. When you connect those dots, you stop seeing the child as broken or misbehaving. You see a nervous system doing its best to keep safe. Yes, okay? So let's continue, you guys, all right? This is not easy to understand. So that's why we want to explain it here on the Reunification channel. So if you're a kid going through a high conflict divorce, you're stuck in the middle of something you never asked for, like being at the bottom of a tug of war rope. You're listening to two different parents. Both say they love you, but sometimes showing it in ways that feel completely different. Suddenly, the safe world you counted on is like a puzzle with missing pieces. Yes, okay? Your brain is wired to want safety, of course, and connection. That's true, whether you're a little kid or a teenager. If one parent tries to pull you close and the other makes you feel worried, your brain doesn't just make a simple decision, okay? It adapts. Sometimes that means becoming quiet and withdrawn. Yes, sometimes it means acting angry or scared. Yeah, and sometimes the only way to avoid feeling trapped is to reject one parent entirely, okay? But none of this means you're being manipulative or stubborn. It's your nervous system trying to find a way to feel okay. Yes, okay? The brain under stress is really hard to really understand. So let's continue here on the Reunification channel. Let's go deeper into the science. When families fight, a part of the brain called the amygdala becomes superactive. Think of the amygdala as the brain smoke. Yeah, smoke alarm, okay, detector. It's always sniffing for danger. It's always sniffing for danger. Every angry voice, every tense moment sets off alarms. You start noticing body language, tones of voice, even just the way someone looks at you. You start to pick one. That's called being in hypervigilant mode. Now, here's the tricky part. The system is in your brains that help you sort out feelings and understand the bigger picture are still developing all the way into your 20s. Yeah, all the way to your 25. So when your kid's brain ends up holding onto a painful memory really tightly, if your body feels unsafe around someone, even for reasons you can't explain, your brain tries to protect you by putting up emotional walls to that person. Over time, this might make you scared of one parent, even if you can't remember exactly why you're afraid of them. Okay? So the loyalty conflict also plays a role in this. Now imagine you're feeling torn between wanting both parents to love you, but also sensing that loving the wrong one might make the other upset. Kids feel loyalty so strongly, it can hurt. It's almost like there's a secret rule. Don't betray the parent you rely on the most. Yeah. So if a child thinks showing love to one parent might upset the other parent, the easiest way to stay safe is to pick a side, even if deep down they wish things were different. Okay, it's not really about hate. It's about survival, okay? The brain's number one job, remember, is to keep you connected to the people you trust, even if that means rejecting someone else for a while, okay, for a period of time. All right. So let's continue here, you guys. All right. This is why reunification therapy is such a complicated topic. If people force a child into contact with a parent before the child feels even a little bit safe, it can make things really worse, actually. The nervous system gets, very jumpy. It gets even jumpier. But when the therapist understands how brains work, how to help a child feel safe, understood, and heard, all right, real healing can begin to happen. The brain can learn new, better patterns. Trust can be rebuilt slowly, but it can be rebuilt, okay? So let's continue. People argue about this reunification therapy thing all the time. Some say it saves families. Others say it's dangerous for kids. But to have a real conversation, we need to talk about what's happening inside the child's brain, not just on the outside, you guys. We got to talk about that on the inside, okay? If we're going to be in this argument, we got to bring all the data, okay? The scientific data, okay? So here, where do you stand? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you care about the deeper science behind families, psychology, and how our brains handle tough times and trauma and, separation like this, make sure to follow along. There's always more to learn. And your experiences actually matter here. So please join us on the Reunification channel.